Okay, so the first opinion is that I don't get why YG keeps the amazing songs in the dungeon, but when it comes to giving Blackpink comebacks, a lot of their discography has gotten boring for me now. And I don't get why YG releases good songs for Blackpink and then they get boring over time. And these are not long lasting field songs. I genuinely do love a lot of Blackpink songs like Stay, Hope Not, Kick It, As If It's Your Last, for examples, and a couple more. But they are also songs in Blackpink's discography that I find kind of boring, like the do 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 type structure songs. And I genuinely love some of these do 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 type structure songs, but I feel like doing do 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 type structure songs constantly is getting boring, and YG should stop it. And instead of doing the do 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 type structure songs, they should either do girl crush songs, that have proper structures and that are good, or have a different structure that strays away from the do type structure formula, or they should do a different concept entirely instead of releasing do type structure songs. And I don't get why YG continues releasing do type structure songs but keeps amazing songs in the dungeon. Like when I heard the Ready for Love leak, I was like, why isn't YG releasing this? And even when I heard the full version of Touchdown made by a fan account, basically there's this fan mashup channel that made a full, clean version of Blackpink's Touchdown as a full song. And when I heard it, I was like, wow, that is so amazing. And why aren't Blackpink releasing it? And I believe it's a song that was made for Blackpink, but they didn't officially release it. So I don't understand why YG continues releasing do type structure songs and continues giving Blackpink songs that age poorly and get boring over time and rarely give them good music. As I said, I genuinely like a lot of Blackpink songs, but there are a lot of Blackpink songs that I find boring when I used to like them in the past. And I just feel like YG should give them more good songs than songs that end up getting boring in the future. And they should actually get good songs, and every time they make a comeback, they should actually make good music that is worth the wait, because Blackpink takes so long to make comebacks, and they should get good music and YG should give them good music instead of songs that age poorly and get boring over time, or songs that are in the do type structure formula. Okay, so the next opinion is about boy groups, and I just released my boy group debunking video before this upload, so go check it out if you haven't, because I showed you that boy groups are good, and I also showed some examples as well. So the opinion is that the genuine belief that boy groups are bad come from K-pop stans believe that every single boy group popular and Nugu currently, that is every single boy group that debuted in the 4th gen, and in the 4th gen there have been close to 100 debuts since the start of 4th gen amongst boy groups, be it boy groups with one song, two songs, mini albums, full albums, or boy groups that haven't officially debuted and have disbanded before debut. Maybe they released a pre-debut song or something. So K-pop stans believe that every single boy group in the 4th gen are doing noise or dark concepts, and since people have this genuine belief that every single boy group are doing dark and noise concepts, they believe that they'll encounter only noise music, meaning if they search up more groups, they believe that they'll just get noise music from every boy group that they check out or a dark concept. So they save themselves the trouble of checking out boy groups only because they're assuming that every single K-pop boy group currently in the 4th generation are the same, meaning that they do noise or they do dark concepts. And K-pop stans, if they do check out new groups, they fear that they'll only be met with noise music or dark music, and that's why they don't want to check out new groups, and that's why they want to constantly complain that boy groups are bad, because they believe that there's no variety amongst boy groups and that every boy group does noise or does a dark concept. So this was my opinion, and also credits to Planet Minje's video on why boy groups are flopping, and that video gave me the idea for this opinion. Okay, so the next opinion is that when Love Song announced, I was actually hyped because it featured Seori. She's one of my alt soloists in Korean music, and also I like TXT's music, a lot of them, before Love Song released, and the music before that enough to stand them, and that's why I was hyped for this comeback. When I checked out the song, I genuinely loved it, but after some time, pretty quickly it got boring, and because it got boring, I didn't like it. And another thing that made me not like the song is the problems that I found in the feature with Seori. The problems that I found were that, firstly, Seori got no lines and only felt like a backup vocalist because she sang Say You Love Me, Say You Love Me in the post chorus. Secondly, she got no feature in the MV, meaning she didn't get to star in the MV and it was only TXT. And thirdly, her feature felt like a fan-made remix because of how little lines she got. Plus, she doesn't suit this more powerful rock vibe that requires more powerful vocals and stuff. And she suits a more aesthetically pleasing, softer vibe, or maybe even R&B, because she has a more softer vocals and she's so good at, singing in a more softer voice. And I believe that someone who has a more powerful vocals, like a soloist who has a more powerful vocalist and who actually can suit a rock vibe and can do a rock vibe would have been perfect for the song. And adding Siori in the song was a mistake. If they were collabing with Siori, they should have released a song that was more chill based or more softer based that was actually suited towards Siori's vocals because she's not much of a power vocalist to release a song like this. And I'm also mad at the fact that she didn't get to feature in the MV because of the fact that there are songs like Boy With Love featuring Halsey, where Halsey got to star in the MV. Even if it was for like a very short amount of time, she still got to star in the MV. And if you look at Idol's remix featuring Nicki Minaj, she also got her own scene in the MV when it came to her rap scene. But with Siori, she didn't get a screen time in the MV. She didn't get to star in the MV at all. So, in my opinion, this whole feature with Siori was actually a mistake and was actually not a good choice because the song choice was bad because Siori didn't get much lines and she didn't get to star in the MV, and this felt like a fan-made remix rather than an officially released song. Maybe they should have not added Siori at all and added another powerful voice singer who suits the vibe of a rock emo song, or maybe they should have just done it as a TXT song without Siori as a feature because Siori got nothing from this song. Okay, so the next opinion is that if K-pop groups started releasing ballads or maybe chill songs or maybe more plain or simple songs as title tracks often as much as they release faster paced music or noise music or any other sort of music, I feel like K-pop stars would call them flops or would say they fell off mainly because they released a ballad song or a chill song or a more plain and simple song that isn't too outstanding. And it's funny to me how I've seen K-pop stans say they're ballad antis, or I've seen K-pop stans call a song boring or bland or underwhelming and stuff like that. And it's funny because I don't believe that a K-pop stan can be a ballad anti unless they checked out enough ballads or gave ballads a chance properly and properly analyze ballads to know if they're actually ballad antis or they just being haters of ballad music just because it's a ballad song. And for people who call songs boring or bland, I've said this before, that people cannot actually call a song boring or bland unless they give it a chance, and they cannot call a song a boring or bland solely on the basis that it's a chill song or it's a ballad song or something like that. Like if they hate a certain aspect of a song because they find it cringe or the auto tune is there or the vocal editing is off or something, that's fine. But if they're hating on a song solely based on it being a ballad or chill song or something, and because they fall under that category, then that's not a reason to find the song boring or underwhelming. That just shows you're a hater. So it's funny to me that, K-pop stans say they're ballad antis or they find a song boring or bland because of these reasons. And I genuinely believe that if K-pop groups started releasing more ballad, chill, or softer based music more often as much as they release other fast paced noise type of music as title tracks, K-pop stans would say they fell off, or they would say that they flops or something like that. And I genuinely believe that, and it's so funny that K-pop stans would genuinely do this because it's like stupid also, but it's also hilarious at the same time. Okay, so the next opinion is that I just realized that K-pop groups releasing ballads won't make them flop. And the reason why I say this is because in a previous unpopular K-pop opinions video that I released 1, 2, or maybe 3 months ago in 2022 only, the opinion I made in that video was that I've seen K-pop stans say that a group flopped or fell off mainly because they released a ballad song or a chill song or a more softer bass song. And I also said that K-pop groups cannot flop just because they release a ballad or a chill song or a softer bass song. And the only reason they flop or fall off is mainly because of their sales or maybe because of their popularity declining, and those are reasons that they can fall off, not because they released a ballad, chill, or a softer bass song. And the people who complain about ballads being boring in K-pop or people saying they're ballad antis are a lot of the times international stans from other countries. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at the country of South Korea, ballads are actually one of the most popular genres in Korean music in South Korea. So even if K-pop stans, international K-pop stans say that a group has fallen off because they released a ballad song or something like that, and they call the group flops or they say they've fallen off, then they might actually maybe unstand or not check out the group because of the fact that they released a ballad song, and these international stans probably don't like ballads. But Korean stans will still be listening to them, or Korean netizens, because as I said, the ballad genre is actually one of the most popular genres in Korean music in South Korea. So even if international stans probably stop checking out the group because they're releasing ballads, then the Korean netizens and the Korean fans will still continue listening to the group because ballads are liked by a lot of the Koreans in South Korea, because ballads are one of the most popular concepts in Korea, and the group will still be continuing being popular because of the fact that Korean people are checking out their songs because of ballads being popular in Korea. Okay, so the last opinion is that K-pop stans say K-pop is getting boring and talk about noise music and all that rubbish and complain about the dumbest things when they themselves are the reasons that K-pop is getting boring. I've seen many K-tubers, be it ones that I'm sub to and know of very well, or be it new K-tubers that I found because I'm watching unpopular K-pop opinions videos recently, and I've seen K-tubers say that in their unpopular K-pop opinions videos that K-pop is getting boring, and the reason why these K-tubers find K-pop boring is because they, like many other K-pop stans, only check out bigger, better budgeted company groups or groups with a budget, or whenever a group comes into K-pop and has a high budget, they give them views and forget about the no-go groups that exist that come with a lesser budget, or that release amazing music but come from smaller companies and the MVs are not high quality enough to get them on the radar. And that is the reason why I think that K-pop stans, actually don't like K-pop and find it boring, and because of the fact that they're not broadening the searches, finding new groups that they didn't know exist or new songs that they didn't know exist. And I made a thought bubble video on this exact topic about K-pop stans saying that K-pop is boring, and I said that K-pop stans themselves are the reasons why K-pop is boring because they're not broadening their searches. And also I said that K-pop can never be boring because there's so many songs that release from every generation, be it from bigger, better budget company groups or smaller company groups, or groups with a decent budget. There's so many songs that release in every generation that there's literally no way that K-pop can be boring, and y'all can literally search up on new songs because there's so many K-pop songs that release every time, every year, every month. Be it comebacks from smaller groups or bigger groups, or maybe debuts from new groups that you didn't know existed, or groups from companies that you already know about. And there's so many songs that release every generation that it's impossible for K-pop to be boring. And also, I genuinely believe that K-pop is boring because you make it boring. The companies are not the reasons that K-pop is getting boring because they release bad music. Because along with the bad music, there's a lot of good music, be it from bigger company, better budgeted groups or smaller company groups, be it as title tracks that is debuts, or be it as title tracks that is comebacks, or be it as B-sides, or songs they just promote on music shows because they don't have much of a budget to make an MV. So K-pop can never be boring because you yourself make it boring because you only check out bigger, better budgeted company groups. And while I'm fine with that, I just hate the fact that K-pop stans, they listen to only bigger, better budgeted company groups, and then they base all their assumptions of K-pop on these bigger, better budgeted company groups and forgetting that no-go groups exist too. K-pop stans constantly say that K-pop is getting boring, but they don't know that they can broaden their searches and they can, search up for new songs. They don't know that they can do research, but they constantly say K-pop is getting boring when the simple solution is to check out more artists and check out more groups. There's so many songs, as I said, that K-pop literally cannot get boring, and you just need to widen your search. Why do you constantly have to complain and be a lazy ass K-pop star and making opinions that K-pop is getting boring, rather than making these unpopular K-pop opinions on how K-pop is boring, or saying other types of things like boy groups aren't that good or something like that? You can literally do research. You can literally check up on yourself. You can literally do a simple Google search, do a simple YouTube search, and check up different songs by K-pop groups and K-pop artists that you never knew existed. And that way, K-pop can never get boring for you. You only say K-pop is getting boring because you check out a couple of bigger company, better budgeted groups, and you listen to their music and you genuinely get disappointed because the music is not that great, and then you say K-pop is getting boring. If you listen to K-pop and check out Nugu artists as well from smaller companies as well, or decent budgeted companies, and you still don't like them, then you can say K-pop is getting boring because you checked out a lot of different types of groups. But if you're only basing your assumptions of bigger company, better budgeted groups, then you have no right to say K-pop is getting boring because you haven't checked out enough K-pop groups to properly make an analysis on K-pop itself, saying that it's getting boring, because you're basing your assumptions only on one small side of K-pop and you're forgetting the Nugu side exists, and you'll constantly say that K-pop is getting boring and you're forgetting Nugu groups, and y'all are not giving attention to them because y'all are wanting to believe that K-pop is getting boring when K-pop is actually not boring. And there's so many amazing Nugu songs that you can check out and you can listen to if you just searched up. Why can't y'all just do research instead of complaining all the damn time on stupid things that don't even matter and are not even a big deal, but y'all turn it into a big deal and blow things out of proportion, which is honestly the most stupidest thing ever.